You bought your first stock on a Tuesday morning between brushing your teeth and catching the 8:15 bus. You spend the next month rebuilding your mornings around that $47 decision. Then you spend 3 months doing the same thing before breakfast, checking one stock ticker and convincing yourself you could afford to lose $200. The morning you press buy, your hands shake. The vending machine next to the concrete loading dock dispenses hot coffee for $4.75. You hand the machine exact change every night at 11:40. You press the same faded plastic button and catch the lukewarm brown liquid in a thin paper cup. The first sip always burns the roof of your mouth. You walk onto the factory floor of the bottling plant outside Tulsa for the third shift. The heavy machinery noise shifts pitch but fills the massive warehouse. The fluorescent lights hum above the steel vats. You inspect paper labels on thousands of glass bottles. You verify tight plastic seals on the caps. You watch the steel conveyor belt carry heavy containers past your station. The rapid speed terrified you during your first month of employment. The fast pace feels normal now. The direct deposit hits your checking account every other Friday morning. You earn $14 an hour for your physical labor. The government takes their tax cut and leaves you with $940 every 2 weeks. You calculate the remaining balance in your head without thinking about the specific numbers. Your landlord collects $610 for a small one-bedroom apartment situated directly above a busy laundromat. The thin walls let in the smell of detergent. The massive industrial dryers vibrate the cheap floorboards until midnight. You ignore the loud rumbling and try to sleep. You spend $90 on bulk rice, dry beans, and frozen vegetables at the discount grocery store. You pay $60 for regular gasoline for your truck. The remaining cash sits in your primary checking account. The small balance demands your constant attention and careful budgeting. Your phone vibrates in your front pocket during a cold October night shift. You stand near the loud vending machine and pull out the glowing screen. Weez works the packaging line and holds his phone up for the break crew. He shows the team a bright brokerage screenshot displaying a $400 overnight profit. A massive smile stretches across his tired face. You offer a silent nod and keep your mouth shut while drinking your coffee. His absolute certainty catches your attention. He spoke about the stock market with complete ownership. He acted like the profit waited in his digital account for him to claim it. You drive home at dawn and skip your normal sleep routine. You tap the blue banking application on your phone screen. The application loads slowly on the older phone. $612 sits in your primary savings account. The money rested there for 8 long months. The retail bank pays you 11 cents in monthly interest. You stare at the stagnant digital balance. Exhaustion drives your next financial move. You want the numbers to move and grow. You download a discount brokerage application at 6 in the morning while wearing your heavy steel-toe boots. The application prompts you for your risk tolerance and investment time horizon. You select the middle option for every single question. You purchase $300 of a broad market index fund with an unpronounceable ticker symbol. You tap the green confirmation button. The screen refreshes slowly. The application provides no audio feedback and displays no congratulatory message. Your savings balance drops to $312. The new brokerage balance shows $300. You must fill out physical paperwork and wait business days to access those new shares. You feel a brief wave of regret. You executed an invisible digital transaction. Beginners expect a grand feeling during their first investment purchase. You feel nothing at all. You return to the loud factory floor for the next 3 weeks. You drink the same bitter vending machine coffee. You configure an automatic $50 transfer for every single payday. The digital routing system moves the cash into the brokerage account before you can spend it on immediate physical desires. You keep the new account hidden from Weez and the rest of the factory crew. The small portfolio lacks any interesting details to share with your coworkers. You view yourself as a regular factory worker with a coffee addiction and a depleted savings account. The identity of a serious investor takes years to develop. You clock in for your next evening shift. The steel conveyor belt carries heavy glass bottles. The loud machinery alters its frequency. Your $300 sits in a massive pooled mutual fund. The fund managers do not know your name or your work schedule. The stock market operates independent of your personal life. 3 full years pass and the vending machine still charges $4.75. Your total portfolio balance reaches $11,200. You increase the automatic transfer to $75 and then $100 over the years. You made the steady deposits regardless of your weekly motivation level. You open the brokerage application on a Tuesday morning out of pure habit. The steering wheel feels cold in your hands. A new transaction line catches your eye. The index fund deposited a $4.11 cash dividend. You let out a short laugh in your car. The small amount perfectly matches the price of your morning coffee. Your thumb hovers over the vending machine application to buy a hot cup with the new profit. You stop your hand and select the automatic reinvestment option instead. You stare at the bright screen. You slept through the night while the fund generated the cash. You avoided the loud factory floor and the supervisor quota meetings. The stock market paid for your morning caffeine. This small transaction represents the first time your capital covered a daily expense. Your monthly cellular bill costs $68. The annual dividend total surpasses that exact amount by November. You stand in your small kitchen and realize the investment portfolio covered your phone service for the entire year. Weez purchases a brand new pickup truck with bright chrome accents and a loud exhaust. The factory crew gathers around the shiny vehicle during the lunch break. Weez leans against the metal bumper with his arms folded. You compliment the bright paint job and walk away. You overhear Weez discussing a higher-than-expected monthly payment on a phone call in the break room. You grab your thick work gloves from your metal locker and keep your mouth shut. You drive the same used sedan you bought at 23 years old. The passenger door rattles loudly over speed bumps. You plan to visit a local mechanic eventually. Your brokerage account crosses $14,000 by December. The factory crew knows nothing about your growing portfolio. The break room conversations revolve around vehicle financing and overtime hours. Your growing wealth alters your available life options. You cook dinner and check the portfolio balance before sleep. The stock market experienced a long period of steady upward growth. The sudden decline begins on a Monday morning. Your account value drops 8% by Wednesday evening. The total loss reaches 14% the following week. The large percentage translates to $4,400 in missing capital. Your balance falls from $30,000 down to $26,600. Financial media calls this event a paper loss. The missing money feels real to you. The cold wind blows across the concrete dock. You stand by the loading dock with your coffee and open the trading application. The red sell button sits in the center of the screen. One tap stops the visible financial decline. You keep your thumb away from the glass. Your chest feels tight and your stomach turns. You remember an old magazine article stating that market losses only become permanent when you sell the shares. You lock the phone screen and slide the device into your pocket. Panic and observation create the exact same physical sensation. The only difference involves your subsequent physical action. Selling the shares destroys your capital. Holding the shares guarantees a stressful week. Weez watches the financial news and mentions the market crash during lunch. He laughs loudly and praises his traditional brick-and-mortar savings account. You chew your cold sandwich and nod. His retail bank pays him 6 cents in monthly interest. You calculated that exact return years ago. You keep your mouth shut and finish your meal. The scheduled automatic transfer executes that night. $75 leaves your checking account and purchases discounted shares. The automated computer system ignores the news cycle and executes the trade. The digital portfolio operates independent of your emotional state. The stock market recovers 6 weeks later. The share price climbs high enough to settle your upset stomach. The shares you purchased during the crash show a solid profit. You observe the green numbers without celebrating. The account balance crosses $34,000 by December. You achieved the new high by remaining inactive. The stock market tested your emotional endurance rather than your financial strategy. You wait until Sunday to check the application again. The vending machine coffee still costs $4.75. Denise calls you into the private management office on a Thursday afternoon. The office smells like stale coffee and printer ink. She managed the second floor for 11 years. She offers you the open line lead position. The promotion includes a $9,000 raise and mandatory weekend shifts during peak season. You would have accepted the offer immediately a decade ago. You ask Denise for a few days to consider the proposal. She blinks in surprise. Factory workers usually jump at the chance for a management title. You drive home and replay the conversation in your head. You almost turn the steering wheel to go back and accept the job. You keep driving toward your apartment. You open the 2-column spreadsheet you created at 26 years old. The digital document tracks your salary income against your portfolio income. The new management salary adds $600 to your monthly take-home pay. Your combined brokerage and retirement accounts generated $500 in dividends last month. The investment income requires zero physical labor. You compare the $500 passive dollars against the $600 requiring weekend work. You decline the promotion the next day. Denise accepts your decision and moves on to the next candidate. The factory crew ignores your choice. You protect your Saturday free time. Weez picks up weekend shifts at a local hardware store to cover his truck payment. You spot him wearing the orange store uniform at the grocery store. He looks physically exhausted. You recognize the distinct difference between your two schedules. Your accumulated capital reveals existing options. Portfolio balance crosses $100,000 in November. You check the application on a Sunday morning while drinking grocery store coffee. Management changed your shift schedule and moved you away from the loading dock vending machine. You keep the six-figure milestone hidden from the factory crew. The break room conversations lack the vocabulary for investment milestones. You log in that night and reinvest the quarterly dividend. The automated system processes the small transaction. Massive market correction arrives a few years later. The percentage drop matches the previous crash. The dollar amount causes severe stress. Your account peaked at $240,000. The balance falls to $198,000 by March. $42,000 vanishes in a single season. The loss exceeds 4 years of your starting factory salary. You refresh the application 3 times in 1 hour. The screen displays the red numbers. The massive balance remains static. Sleep avoids you all week. The digital glow illuminates your face in the dark bedroom. You lie in bed calculating basic survival math. You compare rent and grocery costs like you did at 23 years old. The current question involves the legitimacy of your entire portfolio. You wonder if the past 14 years resulted from pure luck. The doubt arrives at 2 in the morning. The late-night thoughts lack clean answers. You call your mother for a Sunday lunch conversation. She asks about your general well-being. You mention the stressful factory environment. The statement omits the massive portfolio loss. You lack the words to explain the financial stress without sounding arrogant or terrified. The situation mixes arrogance and terror. Your social circles shift without your permission. You avoid discussing finances with Weez. He works extra hardware store shifts to pay for his truck. You mention the rough market conditions during a break. Weez laughs and praises his visible bank account. The joke widens the gap between you two. You lack an invitation to wealthy dinner parties discussing rental properties and tax brackets. You possess a large digital number that fits into neither the factory break room nor the country club. The financial blogs discuss the isolation of extreme wealth. You experience the isolation of the middle class. You outgrew your original peer group without gaining entry into the next tier. You maintain the automatic weekly transfer. The routing system executes the trade without asking about your social life. The stock market recovers 8 months later. The share price climbs in a jagged pattern. The shares you purchased during the crash show a massive profit. Your account closes the year at $261,000. The physical sensation of fear remains identical to your first crash. The familiarity allows you to endure the stress without selling the assets. You buy grocery store coffee on Monday morning. The $4.75 price tag remained constant for 14 years. You open the tracking spreadsheet at 11:46 on a Thursday night. The desk chair squeaks when you shift your weight. Your factory salary reaches $62,000 after 18 years and 2 accepted promotions. Your monthly take-home pay sits around $3,400. The combined investment accounts generated $68,200 this year. The total includes dividends, interest, and realized capital gains. You verify the spreadsheet formulas. The calculations prove correct. Your hand rests motionless on the computer mouse. Your capital generated more income than your physical labor. You lean back in the chair. The refrigerator hums in the kitchen. A truck drives past the apartment building. A water pipe knocks against the drywall. The financial crossover point occurs in total silence. You expected a grand announcement during your first investment. The milestone arrived disguised as a regular Thursday night. Your alarm sounds at 5:30 the next morning. You brew coffee in your kitchen. You retain the memory of the vending machine price. The heavy factory doors close behind you with a loud thud. You drive to the factory and meet Denise in the hallway. She asks you to work a double shift to cover a staffing shortage. You pause for 3 seconds before answering. The financial portfolio provides the option to decline the extra hours. The automated system will purchase shares regardless of your weekend attendance. You accept the double shift. The acceptance stems from personal choice rather than financial panic. The factory work remains identical. Your internal relationship to the labor changed. You drink your evening coffee at the kitchen counter. You keep the spreadsheet data hidden from your coworkers. The break room lacks the context for financial independence conversations. Rumors of a corporate reorganization circulate in February. The factory crew recognizes the pattern from previous management changes. You completed 22 years at the plant. The rumors fail to trigger your personal anxiety. You recognize the panic in the voices of your younger coworkers. Management calls Weez into the office on a Tuesday. The company reduces his weekly schedule from 5 days to 3 days. His truck payment remains exactly the same. Wies eats his lunch in silence. You feel a deep recognition rather than superiority. You remember calculating basic survival math next to the vending machine. You write down the name of your bank advisor on a piece of scrap paper. You hand the paper to Wies and compare the advisor to a reliable mechanic. Wies puts the paper in his pocket. Financial progress feels like walking further down the exact same road. The combined portfolio balance passes $600,000 that spring. You check the application during your Sunday morning coffee routine. The specific number holds less importance than the underlying option. You possess the ability to quit the factory. You calculated the retirement projections using conservative, average, and generous market returns. The factory salary became optional several years ago. You continue clocking in for your shifts. You lack a clear plan for a Tuesday without a work schedule. 2 decades of factory routine created a deep psychological structure. Financial freedom presents the open schedule without providing the daily activities. You spend an hour every Thursday evening with a 19-year-old coworker named Marisol. She struggles with the company retirement match paperwork. You explain the compound interest mechanics. You show her the mathematical difference between starting at 19 versus waiting 5 years. She writes the calculations on a notepad. The corporate reorganization concludes. Wies retains his employment with the reduced schedule. You purchase your morning coffee on the drive to work. You maintain the $4.75 habit through 2 market crashes and 22 years of early alarms. Marisol approaches you on a Thursday evening 6 years later. She reached 25 years of age. Her retirement account crossed $40,000 the previous week. She speaks the number with a hint of embarrassment. You assure her the balance represents a massive achievement. She lacks the perspective to believe the statement. You remember staring at your own $612 savings balance with the exact same disbelief. You reached 51 years of age. You completed 28 years at the bottling plant. Denise retired last spring. The current management team asks for your operational input. Your combined investment accounts sit past $900,000. The morning sun shines through the kitchen window. You skip the Sunday morning balance check. You occasionally forget to open the application for 10 consecutive days. The constant refreshing habit vanished. Reaching the final destination removes the urge to verify the balance. You stop looking at the screen while your dedication to the work remains strong. You checked the numbers in the past because you wanted concrete proof. You wanted to see the effort materialize in front of your eyes. You make the financial project so tangible in your daily life you abandon the need for constant verification. Wies took early retirement last year. He funded his exit from the workforce with a solid pension and a paid mortgage. He visited the manufacturing plant a few weeks back to catch up with former colleagues. The man looked rested and carried a relaxed posture you had not seen on him in decades. You two never discussed finances during your 28 years working together. He brought up his young grandchildren and their recent school milestones. You mentioned your aching knees and the heavy physical toll of the manual labor job. Both of you walked away satisfied by that brief exchange. You still purchase a cup from the break room every morning. You pay $4.75 for it. Plant management replaced the old loading dock vending machine twice since your very first day working on the floor. The vendor raised the cost by $1 over the passing decades without you catching the exact date of the price hike. Your personal discipline compounds like financial assets. Coworkers avoid discussing this parallel. You practice the strict routine of ignoring daily market noise and avoiding emotional reactions to the news. You showed up every day and put in the required hours. You chose steady daily progress over flashy distractions and quick financial fixes. You build the specific individual capable of accumulating long-term wealth through this strict 28-year routine. You never tracked this internal growth and character development on the spreadsheet. You value this personal evolution more than any monetary figure printed on a bank statement. You think about your 23-year-old self at night. That young man stood by the breakroom coffee maker wearing heavy work boots and a faded uniform. He guessed at complex risk tolerance questions on a confusing new hire screening form. You feel a strong connection to that younger version of yourself. You both kept moving down the same path. He lacked the foresight required to see the total length of the long journey. You currently lack the foresight required to see the remaining miles ahead. Marisol asked for your guidance this past Thursday. You shared your most reliable piece of advice. Maintain the automated transfers and let the system do the work. Ignore the urge to monitor the account from a place of anxiety. Look at the account numbers only when idle curiosity drives you to check the balance. You provide the complete answer to her question with this specific directive. An unfamiliar 23-year-old employee stands by the same breakroom coffee maker right now. He pays an extra dollar for his cup compared to your early days. He takes his break at 11:40 at night. He stares at a glowing mobile banking application on his cracked phone screen. He resents the stagnant and unchanging account balance after a long shift. He lacks the feeling of embarking on a grand journey. His tired thumb hovers above the digital confirmation button. He weighs the decision to finalize the transaction. You know the exact outcome of the choice he is about to make.